Hi everyone! It's me, your friendly neighborhood Sabera, and this is Axiom Verge 2. The category that I'm going to be running for you tonight is all earns, no BS. And BS, as everybody knows, stands for boomerang steering. So there's going to be absolutely no steering of boomerangs in this run whatsoever. If you do steer boomerangs, it can be used to hit switches that are behind walls that you're not supposed to be able to hit. We disallow that. Additionally, this category allows no glitches whatsoever. So anything you see that you think is a glitch is not actually a glitch. So that's the story here. So now it is time to tell the sad, traumatic tale of billionaire capitalist Indra. So we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. As a billionaire capitalist, oh shoot. You know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I have an accessibility setting on that I am just going to stop and change. You can keep the timer running. It's fine. This spookiness right here is just something that I was futzing with earlier, but we're gonna go ahead and switch that. We're gonna set this all the way back to normal for this run. So as a billionaire capitalist, you are taking a helicopter to Antarctica, and then you're going to go ahead and pick up an ice axe. And because you are a billionaire, you don't have any respawn animations. So it's faster to save quit than to walk back from picking up this ice axe. And now you're going to go ahead and whack some boxes with that ice axe because who cares about a couple of boxes when you're a billionaire? But your Antarctic research station is powered down. There's nobody here. You don't know why. So of course you have to come investigate this personally so you can fire whoever's responsible. So we're going to go ahead and turn the power back on. We have left our helicopter pilot back at the helicopter in case we need to make a quick escape. But we're gonna save quit again after turning on the power. Again, no respawn animations, so that's a little bit faster. That's going to change in the very near future because we are about to take an elevator to an alternate dimension. We don't know this yet, but we do. We, the audience, knows that. Flashing lights warning. There's going to be a little bit of staticky stuff on the screen. And so now we are no longer on Earth. We cannot return to Earth. We cannot go back to Antarctica. We are instead on the glacier in an alternate world known as Kinger. And so we're going to do what every good alternate world visitor does in the Axiom Verge universe. We're going to run left. But this time, since we've already gone left and picked up our first weapon, we're going to turn around downward and go right. So we're going to pick up the first of the 18 urns. Urns are skills in this game, so kind of like Hollow Knight all skills. Amashilama in a little bit, but in order to do that, we have to drown. And because this is a speed run, we want to drown as fast as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now the walls are going to collapse, and we're just going to clip ourselves very slightly into this block. And now we're going to go ahead and pull up this... oops, did that a little bit too early. Pulling up this menu makes the drowning sequence happen faster. Hey, Pronzo! Good to see you out there. Welcome, Raiders. So we're going to drown as fast as we can by opening this menu, and once the screen fades entirely to white, we're going to let go. You're going to hear a little crash. That is the Amashilama urn breaking open, and its power rushing into our body, and now we are no longer a billionaire, we are a nanite swarm. And that allows us to save at save altars and reconstitute ourselves at a later date, something that we're going to take great advantage of. We also jump one tile higher than we used to. That's also important. And also, we no longer are able to swim, but we also don't need to breathe underwater. We can just kind of like run underwater with no particular problems. It's a little bit slower than being above ground for now, but we don't need oxygen. We can't drown anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick up a boomerang, but we're not going to steer it. There is going to be no boomerang steering at all. No steering of the boomerang. It is forbidden. So we're gonna pick up the boomerang. We do need it to hit a couple of switches because we don't have access to glitches. Glitches obviate switches is the motto of this video game. So we're going to go ahead and pick up the boomerang. We are going to throw it at things, but we're not going to control its direction beyond our initial throw ever. So we're going to hit that switch. We can't hit that switch without the boomerang, but we can bypass that wall with glitches if we were running a category that was not, in fact, glitchless. We're going to go past these little drills. We're going to throw the boomerang at this urn, and we're going to pick up our second urn, Shishkala, which is Power Grip. Power Grip is Power Grip. It lets us hang on to ledges, and that's going to allow us to climb slightly higher than we used to be able to. These things are being a little bit nasty right now. We're going to make our way out of the glacier now that we have access to the power that lets us make the jumps that we need to get out of the glacier. So we're going to climb over this mountain over here to the west, and that is going to take us over to the area known as Mount Eben. Mount Eben is where we are going to find a camp full of survivors that we're going to systematically fire because we have not yet realized that being a nanite swarm makes us not a billionaire anymore. But we're also going to pick up an urn. Lurking in the base camp at Mount Eben, inside a particularly innocuous-looking room, is the Raw Urn, which gives us a charged melee attack that we are never going to use. We are basically just going to pick it up and run. So we're going to go ahead and throw our boomerang there, and then we're going to walk out that door, which cancels the item acquisition animation, so we don't have to sit there and wait for that. That's not a glitch, by the way. Or it's not considered a glitch. So like I said, anything you see that looks like it might be a glitch, it's not a glitch. This run is glitchless, as I mentioned. So now we're going to go ahead and scale Mount Eben. We did a drive-by firing of that worker who was outside the base camp. I don't know if you noticed. There was no dialogue. It was just like, it was an implicit, it was one of those glances that says that you're fired. So we're going to go ahead and climb the mountain now. And there are lots of these little drones. Combat is not really a thing in this game. As compared to Axiom Verge 1, we don't really fight anything. There are no required bosses. So anytime that we attack something, it's mostly to get it out of our way and not really to kill it. It's usually just like one strike to like push it back a little bit. But up here, we are going to go ahead and pick up the urn Mushus. And Mushus, if you remember glitching from the original Axiom Verge, the replacement for that in Axiom Verge 2 is hacking, and that's what Mushus lets us do. It gives us the power of infection. So I guess we're using viruses to hack these things. We can hack those platforms to make them move, and that will allow us to proceed up the mountain. Continuing farther up the mountain, we are actually going to encounter the first boss of the run, which we're not going to fight. Again, no bosses are required in this game. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. It's a little bit more complicated than that. And we are going to have one boss fight at the very end of the game, but we're going to skip most of it, and you'll see what I mean later. But this is on our way to pick up Damu, and Damu is our drone power. If you played Axiom Verge 1, you remember the drone. It's pretty iconic, works very similar in Axiom Verge 2. You throw the drone out, it hatches, you control the drone, and your main character is basically frozen in place until you recall the drone. So we're gonna do that. A big difference between this and Axiom Verge 1 is that you don't get a shield, an invulnerability shield, while the drone is out. Another big difference, and like fairly important at that, is that the drone can save the game in this. And the drone could not save the game in Axiom Verge 1. And we are going to make some good use of that. We're going to throw the drone and use a little bit of the extra horizontal momentum from the throw to get the drone into this area. I don't even remember what this area is called anymore. The Giguna Steps, that's what it's called. And we're not supposed to be able to get here yet. But because the drone can save at the save altar, we can save the game and then recall. And then as soon as we get control of Indra, we save quit. And Indra is the one who respawns over here, not the drone. And so that allows Indra to enter into here where she is not supposed to go. And so we skip a fairly significant segment until later. Later in the game, we'll go back there to pick up some urns when it's a little bit faster to do so. But for right now, we want to get a couple of other powers first, just because the routing makes it work out nicely. So we're going to pick up Ninhursag here. Ninhursag is a wall climb ability. And we're going to recall and save quit again to get back to that altar. Now, Ninhursag is not infinite wall climbing. You can't just climb up the walls. You have a stamina bar, so there's a limit to what we can do with Ninhursag. But it is enough to, get us up to the next area that we need to be in. We're going to go ahead right up here. Into this temple. Now, it is possible to traverse most of this temple without Ninhursag, but the most important part at the very end of the temple is not, it's not possible. It would be nice if my jumps would happen. But, you know, billionaires think that they don't need to jump to get places. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hack these. Oh, my. We're going to go ahead and hack these little things to make them our allies so that we don't take so much damage from them. So this is the place where we really, strictly speaking, need wall climb. And we need that to be able to get the drone over here so that the drone can go into the breach. The breach is a place that Indra cannot enter. Only the drone can go into the breach. The drone cannot be recalled to Indra while it is in the breach. And the game actually has an entirely different physics system for when you are in the breach. It is actually really kind of interesting. Some of the things that work really naturally outside of the breach do not work at all in the breach. It's just, you know, kind of a little interesting thing. This is a whole separate world. And in some ways, it kind of represents a whole separate game within the game. But we're here not to talk about alternate worlds and alternate games, but to pick up another urn, Eskiri. Eskiri is a grappling hook for our drone that lets it basically slingshot itself. So this is how the drone gets to higher places than it normally would be able to go to. It also makes the drone go pretty fast, so we do use it for fast movement in a lot of places. Unfortunately, the drone takes a ton of damage, so we do have to be a little bit careful with this. I am going to be somewhat precious with my movement from here. So this is going to be a little bit slower than it otherwise would be, just to avoid taking any hits, because one more hit would literally kill me at this point. And that allows us to reach another breach portal, which will allow us to exit the breach. Now, the game is auto-saved at that altar, so I don't have to stop and manually save, but I can use the same trick of recalling to Indra and reloading the game to get Indra over here, where she is once again not supposed to be. We're going to go ahead and use drone throwing to get ourselves a place that we're again not supposed to be able to get to just yet. Woo, that was spicy. And so clearing this wall is... Oh, no. Oh, no. That was bad. We're just forget you saw that. We're gonna try that one more time. I did not jump high enough or hold left quite hard enough that time, I guess. All right, let's do this again. Grab over here, boop, and pop, and jump, and fall, and screen transition, and fall to the left, and there we go. Drone fall. So now the drone is going to move across this cliff and over into a big falling area, and the drone is going to exit Giguna Steps and fall into a late game area called Irakar. Irakar is like a beachy, deserty sort of place, and there are two really important urns here. The first is called Kilnimak. And Kilnimak allows us to see hidden breach portals in the world that we otherwise would not be able to see. So we're going to go ahead and grab Kilnimak over here, and then we are going to save quit back to the altar that we just saved at over here. And then we are going to climb our way up to a hidden drone portal that will allow us to very quickly reach the following urn, which is also very important, Barash. And so Barash over here, it's literally in the next room. It is right here. We are skipping a whole big segment by save warping. Really, really unfortunate breach segment. This is a hover. Our drone can now spawn little insect wings and hover. And the important part about hover for us is that if you hover after you've slingshotted on something, you get to keep your slingshot momentum. So we're going to be using that as our fast movement. For a while. You can also keep your hover for longer by tap hovering. Ooh, I did not do a good job there. So I clipped on the corner there, which lost me my momentum, and we're just going to tap hover over here. And basically, so you have a limited, there's a hidden stamina gauge for hovering, and by tap hovering, you can maximize that, maximize your horizontal distance on that stamina gauge. Tap, 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 tap. And tap, 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 until we land here. So now we are in Urim Valley is the name of this. Oh, ouch. I got sniped. Whoop. And over here, we are going to pick up the Dune Urn, which is our fast travel. And so any save point that we've been to before, we can now go back to just by using the map. So we're going to get a save point here that we're going to fast travel back to later. And then we are going to fast travel Indra all the way back here to the base camp at Mount Eben. Now, I mentioned there were a couple of urns here that we hadn't gotten earlier. Those are underwater movement power that I am blanking on the name of right now. What the heck is the name of that one? And Gud Anna, which allows us to explode and dislodge big rocks from the environment, which is really important. So as you can see, our underwater movement is pretty slow. And we're going to come down here. We're going to make use of the extra horizontal momentum from Indra throwing the drone to propel the drone a little bit faster through the water. This is one of the major reasons why we wait until now to do this, is because the extra drone movement makes us move through the water much faster until we pick up this. And I've completely blanked on the name of this urn, so I do apologize about that. But that is our underwater movement. And now we move faster underwater than we do on land. So we are able to send our drone over here with extra bonus speed and send it to pick up Gud Anna, as I mentioned. Which will allow us to explode and move some environments. Yes, chat, name the urn. Name the mystery urn. Ooh, I did forget to fast travel over here. I could have worked on that while... If you fast travel too quickly while you're recalling the drone, you can actually crash the game. So it's better that I waited, but you actually can pull up the map early so that you can fast travel exactly when control switches. That is the wrong menu. Anna would be a pretty urn name. So we are going to come up here. We're going to explode ourselves, which is going to dislodge... Oh, jeez. And then we are going to throw this out here. And the drone is actually going to go completely separately from Indra, to go ahead and pick up the next urn of the run. So we have this slingshot. It's pretty cool. We like it a lot, but it could be better. How could it be better, you ask? Well, it could be better if it charged up and hurled us as a damaging projectile that could break through walls. So we're going to go ahead and get the Imdug Beer urn. Ernie Sanders, Sophia. I like it. I like all of these. At the end of the run, I will check and see what the actual name of the urn is, so that we know. Thank you so much for the good luck, everyone. Boo Earns, I like that one. Ernie Sanders is, I think, still my favorite, but Boo Earns is really good. Mr. Snurb. Mr. Snrub. So welcome to the Emergence. The game does autosave me at that save altar that I just went to. So we can't save quit out of here, but what we can do is after we're done here, we can just recall the drone back to Indra to continue going, which is really nice. So that's actually what we're gonna do. That was not great. I was also saying Boo Earns. So now that we've picked that up, we are going to go ahead and we're going to lose our drone throw now. Why are we going to lose our drone throw? Because we are going to pick up the magic urn Anuman. Anuman makes Indra and the drone into the same entity. So now if I press the drone button, instead of recalling, I'm just going to turn into Indra. We're just going to switch, and not just regular Indra, but this like weird cyborg Indra. And one of the reasons that we do this is because we have to, because it's an urn. But it's also very useful for a skip that is about to come up. And so we are going to need to be able to switch between Indra and the drone to effectively do that skip. And just because I took some hits, I'm going to go ahead and recover some lost health. We're going to go ahead and slow this one down and also kill it. We're also going to kill this one. This is going to help make this segment a little bit safer. So we have a stamina gauge still on our climb, but we can reset it by switching to the drone, which is really funny. But we can also reset the stamina gauge on our hover by switching back to Indra. So we switch right at the transition there. Which means that when we switch back to the drone right after the screen transition, the hover will allow us to gain a little bit more height again, which allows us to hit that wall and skip most of this factory segment, which is really nice. That screen transition switch made this into something that was RTA viable. I actually found that one of the few strats for this game that I actually found myself. So I'm actually pretty proud of that. So now we're in Egg Factory. The eggs are probably a little bit familiar to you if you've seen any of Axiom Verge 1. And we are actually going to use a teleport egg. No, you do not have to go through the body stealing machine for that to work. But not going through the body stealing machine means that we skip a forced encounter with Amashilama, our first urn, who would have stolen our body in a plot sequence. If we had gone the intended route. We will fight Amashilama. She is the final boss of the game. But we will not fight her until her intended time, and we will skip most of that fight. Yes, so this is where the eggs come from. They come from Egg Factory. So we also have to hack an egg in order to be able to get out of here, and also in order to move on with the game. This is not the case in glitched runs. You can actually skip this whole sequence in glitched runs. But we're not doing that. So now the gate that is to the left is open. And we do have to do the worst room in the game now. This is Spider Heck. Please forgive me if I go silent because this room is really hard. And that was actually a really good Spider Heck. Just about as good as I could have asked for. All right. Wow, that was really smooth. Okay, so now that we've made our way through the factory, we can actually re-enter the glacier from over here, hack our way back into it, and from here we can pick up one of the most important items in the game that is not an urn, the breach attractor. This will allow us to draw breach portals to our current location. That is huge, honestly. Just a really, really, really big help. And we're going to actually go ahead and make use of that almost immediately. We're going to fall down over here. We're going to call a breach portal over to our current location. We're going to enter the breach right here. And we are going to pick up the urn Halam. Halam allows us to exit the breach wherever we feel like it. So we're going to go ahead and exit the breach, and then we are going to go ahead and teleport ourselves back to the altar that is back here. And with Halam in tow, we are going to go get the last urn that is required to beat the game. Worse than Grapple Room, you won't believe, number 3. So we now have to go through the Glacier Breach, the Glacier being the area where we started the game. So this is Glacier Breach. There is actually, you can go a little bit higher and pull the breach portal all the way up to that door. It's not actually faster. I timed it out. It does sort of suck that that's the case, but the lasers on these laser orbs do lots of damage, but the orbs themselves do almost none. So that's it. That's a big factor. There are these little knifey, spinny things here. Those things suck. They suck real bad. As you can see, that took off like a solid third of my health, taking that one hit. So we are actually going to take a quick safety save right here, so that nothing bad happens. What? No, not. I didn't want to take 2 quick safety saves there. Thank you very much. Whoopsie daisy. These enemies also actually, their bullets do quite a lot of damage. As you can see, that really ate through my health, so it is a good thing that I healed. And over here, there is another boss. So the thing about bosses in Axiom Verge 2, aside from them being completely optional, the only thing that you get for beating them is skill points. And we don't really make use of any of those skill points in any of the run categories. Like, they're not used for any strats or anything except for 100%, where you need a particular ability to hack a certain thing open. And aside from that, they're like just not useful for the runs. We're gonna go ahead and whoop, that is why breach attractor. That is not what I meant. There is a cutscene here with our stolen body that never actually got stolen. And then we're going to pull a cheap trick. We are going to throw a boomerang, and then we're going to fast travel. The boomerang is going to hit the urn while we fast travel and cancel the collection animation again. Once again, not a glitch. Not a glitch. Like I said, anything in this run that you think is a glitch is not a glitch. So we are going to go ahead over here. We are going to use our little breach attractor to attract some breach up to us. We did not do that exactly right. Oh, wrong ability. I always forget that it it switches like that. Aiming boomerangs is outlawed. There is no aiming of the boomerang. Sorry, no, steering boomerangs is outlawed. Aiming the boomerang is not. In any case, In this little pocket, this is a breach area that we would only have gone to if we had gone through the body stealing sequence. But buried over here is an urn, Usan Ra, which is a charged melee attack for our drone that we will never use. And having collected that, we are going to fast travel our way back to the Glacier Reach. I forgot to explain the urn that I got after the Amashalama cut sequence. So Mashalama steals the Eldritch Horror, the big tentacle lady, or as I like to call her, Mommy. And then we get Tilhar, which Tilhar is a mist power. So we're Alucard now. So getting past these boingy enemies, we come to yet another red spider room. There are 2 red spider rooms in this area, and they're both terrible. The red spiders are terrible, but we're safe now. We need a little bit of power to get through here, and then through this room, we're just going to buffer a hover in through this room, and it's going to carry us just all the way over that one enemy. And this is the final urn. This is Zaltu, and Zaltu does something very cool. We no longer have to charge our slingshot to get the charged slingshot effect. So now we've collected all 18 urns, and we're going to go beat the game. Cephalamom. I like that. Yes, so we are going to go beat the game now. As you can see, I did not charge my my slingshot, but I still got the charged slingshot effect. And so we are going to come down here and return to where we started the game. We saw this room very, very early on. We're going to go right here instead of turning around and going left. There is a computer room here, and underneath the computer room is a vent that we can now go through because mist could pass. And that is going to take us into the bottom area. The bottom area. That's what this is called. So we're going to go down here, and this is going to take us to the final boss chamber. There is something very important about the final boss chamber here, which is that you can move during the final boss cutscene, and we're going to. Come on. So you can hit 3 out of the 4 switches before she goops them. And then there's supposed to be a second phase where she puts barriers around these after they get gooped, but it just gets skipped. If you don't, if you get the 3 before you goop, or before she manages to goop them, you just skip that whole barrier phase. So we skipped most of the final boss. Our stolen body comes back to cover for us as we escape. And so now it's the escape sequence, as every good Metroid game has an escape sequence. So we're just going to go ahead and slingshot ourselves out of here. Oops. And time. And I thought this was going to go a little over estimate, possibly, but it did not. We came in a little bit under estimate. At 32:29 is not that bad for a run where I complicated things a little bit. Thank you very much for the GGs, everyone. I saw Sabera vent, please, goddamn. And that is Axiom Verge 2, all earns, no BS. As I said, this is the least BS category in Axiom Verge 2. It is one of my favorites, and I hope y'all really liked it. I think my understanding is that we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then I will be right back with Greek Memories of Azor, which I hope you will stick around for, because I'm the only runner of that game, and I did all of the routing and found all of the glitches for it. I'm really, really excited to run it for you. So please stick around.